Quaker Oats, a well-known company primarily associated with oats and oatmeal, surprisingly had a diverse range of products and ventures in the 1990s. Despite being recognized for oats, they were once a Fortune 500 company, generating over $5 billion in annual sales. Interestingly, the majority of their revenue came from sources other than oatmeal. In December 2000, after operating independently for over a century, it was announced that Quaker Oats would be acquired by Pepsi in a stock deal valued at $13 billion. This raises the question of what factors contributed to the company's substantial value, which I will address in this video. Throughout its long history, Quaker Oats has been involved with numerous brands across various industries, many of which might surprise you. In this video, I will discuss the evolution of the company and highlight 7 major or unexpected sales categories they ventured into over the span of more than 100 years. Get ready for an exciting adventure as we explore the captivating story of Quaker Oats. Consumer foods have been a significant focus for Quaker Oats, and they have been responsible for supplying many well-known brands found in supermarkets. During the 1800s, oats gained popularity in America, transitioning from being primarily used as horse feed to being consumed by people. This shift led to the emergence of several oatmealing companies, including Quaker Oats, which played a prominent role in the industry's dynamic landscape. Amidst a series of acquisitions, bankruptcies, and a major fire, the oatmealing industry underwent significant upheaval. In 1877, one of these companies, Quaker Oats, became the first to trademark a breakfast cereal under that name. This move largely established the brand's identity as it is recognized today. It is worth noting that the Quakers, a religious group known for their commitment to peace, do not have any direct affiliation with the company. The decision to adopt the Quaker name and the Quaker Oats guy mascot was based on the association with values such as honesty, integrity, purity, and strength. To cultivate a positive and wholesome image, early advertisements for Quaker Oats often depicted a Quaker Oats guy holding a scroll that emphasized the word pure. 11 years after its inception, the company merged with 6 other major oat millers in the United States, forming the American Cereal Company. 13 years later, in 1901, the company changed its name to Quaker Oats Company. In 1950, they introduced their well-recognized cylindrical container for selling oats. This provides a basic overview of their involvement in the oatmeal business. However, Quaker Oats has also expanded into numerous other consumer food brands. One of their earliest acquisitions, dating back to 1925, was the Aunt Jemima pancake mix, marking one of their initial forays outside of oats. It is worth noting that the Aunt Jemima syrup, which I personally consider to be one of their standout products, was introduced in the 1960s. However, in 2020, the Aunt Jemima brand name was discontinued due to racial insensitivity and rebranded as the Pearl Milling Company. Quaker Oats has made a significant strides in the breakfast cereal market, with notable brands like Cap'n Crunch and Life Cereal. Both were introduced in the early 1960s, and Life Cereal experienced a surge in popularity during the following decade. One notable advertising campaign that garnered attention featured a picky kid named Mikey who surprisingly enjoyed the cereal, implying its exceptional taste. This campaign gained widespread recognition, as Mikey's endorsement implied that if even he liked it, the cereal must be truly good. While there are several other noteworthy aspects to mention, it is worth noting that in the 1980s, Quaker Oats introduced chewy granola bars and acquired the company responsible for producing the popular rice aroni, known as the San Francisco Treat. Another significant category in Quaker Oats' portfolio for over 60 years was their chemical division, originally established in the 1920s. To produce a versatile chemical called furfural from oat hulls. This division thrived after World War II. However, in the 1970s, a substitute emerged in the market, gaining popularity and causing a decline in sales. As a result, the entire chemical division was sold off in the 1980s. Despite this, it is unlikely that people primarily associate Quaker Oats with chemicals. Moving on to a potentially surprising category, Quaker Oats also had a substantial presence in the pet food industry. Their involvement began during World War II when they acquired the brand Ken L Ration. They continued expanding their presence through the purchase and sale of multiple other pet food brands in subsequent decades. By 1997, they were selling over $1 billion worth of pet food annually, accounting for 17% of the entire US dry dog food market. However, in 1997, they sold their European pet food operations and their US pet food operations to Heinz in separate deals, collectively worth around $700 million each. This move further strengthened Heinz's presence in the pet food market, as they were already the owner of the cat food brand 9 Lives. Additionally, Quaker Oats ventured into the retail chain industry in a significant way in 1981. They made a strategic decision to acquire several sizable retailers, displaying a strong interest in this industry almost simultaneously. Quaker Oats expanded their business ventures into various industries, including clothing manufacturing and retail. They acquired Joseph A. Bank, a company known for producing clothes at their manufacturing facilities and selling them through 11 stores. The purchase was made for $20 million, and within 5 years, they grew the chain to over 30 stores, eventually selling it for 5 times the initial acquisition price. A similar story unfolded with Brookstone, a company that primarily sold specialty tools through mail orders catalogs and had 7 physical locations. Quaker Oats operated Brookstone for 5 years before selling it. Another category of interest for Quaker Oats was the acquisition of optical stores. They purchased the chain of 27 optical stores in 1981 under the name iLab, only to sell it 5 years later. The motive behind selling these various entities to different buyers was to reduce debt and refocus on their core food operations. Quaker Oats also ventured into the restaurant industry, with Magic Pan being their most significant endeavor. Magic Pan specialized in making crepes and originated in San Francisco. After Quaker Oats became the owner, they expanded the chain to over 100 locations. Although Magic Pan was gaining prominence in the 1970s, sales began to decline in the 1980s. Consequently, Quaker Oats sold the chain, leading to its eventual closure in the 1990s. This unexpected fact highlights Quaker Oats' ability to build a crepe restaurant empire of over 100 locations. Surprisingly, Quaker Oats also delved into the toy industry by acquiring Fisher-Price in 1969. Fisher-Price, a well-known toy company specializing in products for younger children, including the popular Chatter telephone, became part of Quaker Oats' diverse portfolio. At the time of the deal, Fisher-Price was not as widely recognized as it is today, and Quaker Oats played a significant role in establishing its prominence. Quaker Oats acquired Fisher-Price when the company had sales of around $30 million per year. Over the next 20 years, Quaker Oats grew Fisher-Price to be nearly 25 times larger, with sales reaching approximately $800 million. Eventually, Fisher-Price was spun off into its own publicly traded company and was later acquired by the renowned toy manufacturer Mattel, where it remains today. This acquisition exemplifies Quaker Oats' ability to propel a relatively lesser-known company to substantial success. In the 1970s, Quaker Oats pursued an aggressive acquisition strategy, which included the lesser-known toy company, Louis Marks Toys. They purchased Louis Marks Toys for $54 million, but unfortunately, it did not complement the sales of Fisher-Price as expected. Due to low sales, Quaker Oats sold the company after just 4 years. The beverages category became Quaker Oats' largest segment by the 1990s, surpassing oatmeal and other discussed categories. Notably, this category consists of 2 distinct brands, one being their most successful product and the other arguably their least successful. In 1983, Quaker Oats acquired Stokely Van Camp, a company known for Republican beans rather than its association with Gatorade. However, it was Gatorade that primarily motivated Quaker Oats to pursue the acquisition. Quaker Oats triumphed a bidding war against Pillsbury to obtain Stokely Van Camp and subsequently spent the next 17 years aggressively expanding Gatorade, establishing it as the dominant sports drink it is known as today. Quaker Oats took Gatorade to new markets worldwide and targeted the general public in their advertising campaigns, regardless of whether individuals were athletes or not. One of their notable campaigns, the Be Like Mike campaign, in the early 1990s featuring Michael Jordan, left a lasting impression. These efforts propelled Gatorade to become their best-selling product, accounting for 40% of their total sales by the year 2000. Quaker Oats achieved remarkable success by expanding Gatorade, increasing its sales from $100 million to approximately $2 billion, making it 20 times larger than when they acquired it. Gatorade owes much of its current success to Quaker Oats' contributions. However, the story of their other major beverage brand, Snapple, did not unfold as favorably. In 1994, Snapple was a rapidly growing brand that held almost 40% of the promising iced tea market. Recognizing its potential, Quaker Oats made their largest ever acquisition, purchasing Snapple for $1.7 billion. Unfortunately, this acquisition is widely regarded as one of the worst in history, with critics even questioning the high price paid. Once Quaker Oats took control of Snapple, everything went downhill. They shifted distribution from convenience stores and gas stations, where Snapple was in high demand, to grocery stores, which diminished its appeal. Additionally, competing iced tea brands from Coke and Pepsi entered the market, while the Arizona brand drew inspiration from Snapple and implemented tactics specifically designed to compete with them. These new options for consumers caused Snapple's market share to plummet from 40% to 15% within a few years. The brand also struggled with its marketing efforts, discontinuing the use of the memorable Snapple lady in commercials and replacing her with less memorable campaigns. In 1997, Quaker Oats sold Snapple for $300 million, resulting in a loss of $1.4 billion on the deal within just 3 years. It is evident that their experience with Snapple was not as successful as their venture with Gatorade. This showcases that Quaker Oats is more than just a company that sells oats. Over the course of a century, they diversified into various unexpected areas. To summarize, Quaker Oats' value of $13 billion to PepsiCo was primarily due to successful brands they possessed, with Gatorade being a significant contributor. The non-carbonated beverage category, which included Gatorade, was deemed the fastest growing segment in the industry. Major soft drink brands like Coke and Pepsi were competing aggressively to dominate this market. Pepsi, with the acquisition of Quaker Oats and the inclusion of Gatorade, surpassed its competitors with 33% market share, compared to Coke's 21% share. And that's a wrap for today's episode of Business Central. We hope you enjoyed delving into the fascinating world of business with us. Remember, the journey doesn't end here. Stay connected with us. Like, comment, subscribe to our channel, and click that notification bell so you won't miss a video. Stay inspired, stay informed, and keep making waves in the world of business. See you in the next one.